The D.C. National Guard have hit the streets in the nation's capital as part of President Trump's crackdown on crime. We're going live to Scripps News Group Washington correspondent Stephanie Liebergen. Stephanie, we're talking about what's happening on the ground right now.
Hey, good morning. Well, during the day, you certainly can see small pockets of federal police officers on the street that you might not have noticed previously. Park police have especially stepped up their visibility. You'll also see agents from ICE, from the FBI, ATF, Border Patrol, all of them contributing to the increased law enforcement presence around D.C. The really heightened presence, that's what you see overnight. There were a couple checkpoints that were set up throughout Washington, D.C. last night, and some of those checkpoints were protested by the local neighbors in that area, with dozens of residents coming out and protesting the added law enforcement presence throughout the city. Now, as for the city leaders here, the mayor noting that the Washington, D.C. Metropolitan Police Department has hundreds of job openings, jobs that they want to fill. And so the added federal law enforcement officers are helping fill that gap that the D.C. Police Department felt like they needed to. And so the mayor trying to work with the White House, trying to make the most out of this increased federal enforcement. The National Guard troops aren't necessarily out to be arresting people. They're more out for logistics and help, but just adds to that increased presence of people out on patrol and out on the streets. The president has said when it comes to the D.C. police specifically, federal law does limit that D.C. police takeover to 30 days. If the president wants to extend the takeover beyond that, he would need an act of Congress. But the president indicated yesterday that he thinks he can do it alone. He said that he could declare a national emergency, and that would allow him to control the D.C. Police Department beyond that 30-day deadline. If the president were to try to do something like that, that's the type of thing I would see potentially facing some legal challenges. But right now, the city of D.C., the D.C. officials aren't trying to challenge, at least not yet, the federal efforts to increase this crime fighting in D.C. Local leaders pointing to the fact that the statistics, not only from the Metropolitan Police Department, but also from the Department of Justice, say that violent crime is at a 30-year low in the district. So one question that isn't clear yet, either to city leaders or from what we've heard from the White House, is what exactly does success look like in this anti-crime effort in D.C. Knowing that the statistics were already on the downward angle, knowing that the city was already at a 3-decade low, what does success look like? What is the president and the White House looking for to say, you know what, they think this worked, they're ready to pull back the additional law enforcement effort? That is not something that we have an answer to just yet, but something that will be a key question. The other thing to keep in mind is that this is just the first couple days of this boosted enforcement. We're talking about the middle of the week, a Tuesday night, a Wednesday night. I think the big nights to really look forward is when you get to this weekend and you get to Friday and Saturday. What does that increased enforcement look like? Do we see more protests from D.C. residents out in the overnight hours or out during the day?
Thank you for that information. Well, back at home, we are tracking